Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and hello everyone. So we are from Group 7. We'll be presenting our material about comedy, history, and politics, sex, gender, and performance in literature. So first of all, let me introduce you to my teammates. The first one is me, myself, Arifia, Iftita, Kamila, and two other my friends are Putri, Salsa, Dila, and Khairunnisa. So for the first topic will be explained by my friend Putri Salsa, Dila.
Okay, thank you, Arifia, for the first. My name is Putri Nur Eka Salsa and I want to explain the material. Comedy. What is a comedy? In literature, comedies are amusing and entertaining works of writing that are written for the purpose of evoking positive reaction from the audience. The function of comedy in literature. Comedies are an important genre in literature because they allow for audiences to be uplifted by posing humorous situations to the audience. They allow for laughter and happiness as the effects of watching them. Because the purposes of comedies are to amuse and entertain. They may appeal to broader audiences such as young children as well as adults. Okay, the next, my friend, to be continued.
Okay, thank you. I will continue the material. My name is Khairunnisa. My register number A121-19171. So the next material is about examples of comedy types. Comedy appears in many art forms, including books, movies, plays, improvisation, and more. Here are some examples of comedy types are: first, romantic comedy. A romantic comedy involves a love between people that results in a happy ending. While they may still endure struggles, the couple ultimately achieves a positive conclusion. An example of a romantic comedy would be the movie Sweet Home Alabama. Second, comedy of manners. This type of comedy is satirical in nature and makes fun of sophisticated society. Oscar Wilde's the importance of being earnest is an example of a play that would be categorized as a comedy of manners. The third is sentimental comedy. A sentimental comedy involves characters that, despite being closely themed to bad or evil, eventually triumph over this force and have a happy ending. Unlike the comedy manners, these characters represent the everyday middle class versus the upper class. The next, tragicomedy. A tragicomedy utilizes elements from both comedy and tragedies. These plays often begin tragically and happy and happily. The next is dark, addresses typically distressing or taboo topics as a means of relieving the tension of being uncomfortable with humor. Dark comedy or gallows humor is when you make light of something very serious, death, disease, war, slavery, addiction, terrorism, and etc. Dark comedy is a way of processing the sadness and despair that may occur in the face of these things. And then first is a comedy so silly and over the top that it just doesn't make any sense and you have to laugh. Forces usually use an extremely exaggerated combination of physical comedy and situational comedy and are usually thick with plot twists, hidden identities, and confusing surprises. And the last is spur of spoof or parody. A spoof or parody is a comedy that imitates the roles and cliches of another movies or genre. For example, the film Scary Movie makes fun of horror films through exaggeration and confusion. So the next material will be continued by my friend.
So, okay, this is elements of comedy in literature. So, among its various elements, there are some important ones. So, the first one is substance. So, it refers to the material of the comedy, its text and words. The stories and humors used in a comedy from the pith of it. Use of scathing and penetrating punch words and understandable sentences can help create a winning comedy. And the second one is expression and communication. So the ability of the writer to express and elicit the sentiments and feelings of the characters is crucial to get the same investment and response from the readers and audiences. And the third one is the originality of humor. So if you are trying to copy someone's jokes funny, they won't sound funny coming out from your mouth for sure. Humor needs to be creative and unique, as an old joke does not get too many new laughs. And the next one is timing and rhythm. So this is the most crucial elements of the comedy. There are rhythm and pattern of every comedy. A word work as beats, and if the writer misses the beat, the comedy loses its impact. The use of exact words at the exact moment of time and situation can be different between people laughing because of the writing or on it. And the next one is intelligence writing. So comedy is a hard genre to do well. So it's often said that making some cry is um is a lot disparate easier than making them forget their miseries and break into a smile and laughter. So this necessity level of intelligence and keen observation skills. And the next one is setting. So setting, this refers to staging and designing of the comedy. As comedy is direct and it's a direct and lively conversation with the reader. It needs proper and smart staging in order to connect with the readers. Familiar characters and regular everyday situation can really invest the reader in the text of the comedy. For the next topic will be explained by my friend.
Okay, the second topic, history and politics of literature. Politics is a word with complex implications. Of course, theatrical practices and institutions are themselves political in the sense that they are embedded deeply in a particular society's hierarchies and structures, along with its norms and values. Still, plays also engage with political context and ideas by the forms the by the forms and techniques they use. This can challenge as well as firm prevailing ideas concerning, for example, relationship of power between different groups in society or the just exercise of authority. In this respect, dramatic forms are not simply determined by the circumstances around them. They also reflect upon and intervene into their historical surroundings. However, many plays do not reveal their viewpoints so clearly, and this means that deducing their political attitude is not so strict forward. Their most savannah example, many kinds of drama do not engage, engage in a naturalistic or realistic representation of society and make evidence a little concern with matters of governing. Okay, the next, my friend.
Well, the next material is the history of literature. It's the historical development of writing in prose or poetry that attempt to provide entertainment, enlightenment, or instruction to the reader, listener, or observer, as well as the development of the literature techniques used in the communication of these pieces. The politics of literature means that literature as literature is involved in this partition of the visible and the sayable, in this intertwining of being, doing, and saying that frames a polemical common word. Next will be continued by my friends.
So, okay, this is the last topics about sex, gender, and the literature. So, many researchers in the biological sciences now commonly use gender as a synonym for sex when writing about their work. So, this practice increased dramatically during the 90s, according to the recent survey of the scientific literature by David Hack of Harvard University in Cambridge, Massachusetts. The use of gender as a synonym for sex dated at least for the 14th century, according to the first edition of the Oxford English Dictionary, which was published in 1899. This usage had come to connote a humorous reference to sex. The more frequent usage of gender by biologists in the 19th drew disapproval from both ends of the political spectrum, according to Hack, who cites several letters on this subject to scientific journals. Feminists, for example, decried the notion that race have gender, a social construct. Biologists, on the other hand, complain that gender is an ambiguous term. Well, yeah, that'll be all about our presentation. That was the last slide. And thank you so much for watching our presentation. And Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.